I always thought I knew what a normal Saturday would look like. Wake up late, grab some breakfast, play video games, maybe text my girlfriend a few memes she'd laugh at. Simple. Safe. Predictable. But that morning, when I opened my eyes, I had no idea I was about to step into something completely different. It started with a text from her, "Be ready by 11. Wear something comfy." I laughed. Typical her. Always mysterious, always teasing. I shrugged, threw on a hoodie and jeans, and headed to her place. When I got there, she was smiling in that mischievous way she always does, the one that should have been my first warning. "Hey," I said casually. "What's up? Where are we going?" "Nothing crazy," she said, eyes glinting. "Just a little, fun experiment." I nodded, still clueless. Okay. Sounds fun." And that's when she pulled out the box. A simple black showbox. Nothing on it. But when I opened it, my stomach dropped. Inside were a pair of strappy high heels, sleek, black, polished, and completely impossible looking for me. Are these mine?" I asked, nervously eyeing them. "Yep," she said casually, like this was the most normal thing in the world. "You're wearing them today." I blinked. What? "Don't overthink it. Just try them on. Trust me." I wanted to protest. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream. But her smile, the one that made me melt every time, stopped me. "Okay, fine," I muttered, already feeling my pulse race. I slipped them on, and immediately my balance betrayed me. My ankles wobbled, my legs stiffened, my heartbeat pounded. "You're nervous," she said softly, placing her hand on my arm. "That's perfect." "What do you mean perfect?" "Exactly what I wanted," she said, a teasing glint in her eyes. "It's not just about the shoes. It's about how it feels, stepping into someone else's world. You'll see." I hated how curious I felt despite the embarrassment. Standing up, the heels made me feel exposed. Vulnerable. Every tiny step was a conscious effort. My jeans felt too heavy, too rough against my now awkward stride. The floor creaked under me, and every little squeak echoed like a spotlight. Her laughter was soft. "Relax. Let them guide you." I took a step. Then another. My legs shook, thighs tensing, and my chest tightened. I stumbled. She caught me. "See," she said, grinning. "Totally fine. You're going to love this." I wanted to hate her. And yet, I didn't. By mid-morning, I realized just how much my life had been disrupted. Simple activities became challenges. Walking down the narrow hallway was like a runway test. Sitting was a precarious balancing act. Even my voice sounded different as I spoke, higher, uncertain, more delicate. "Babe, are you okay?" she asked as I nearly toppled over a chair. "I'm fine." I snapped, embarrassed. My words came out fragile, squeaky, not at all like me. She tilted her head. "You're adorable." I froze. The word cut through me. Adorable? Me? And then reality hit. Friends calling me, texting me, what would they say if they saw me like this? I imagined their laughter, whispers, teasing nicknames. My pulse accelerated. Every glance at a reflective surface made me cringe. My reflection betrayed me. Slender legs, calves taut with the strain of balancing, the heels making me taller and yet exposed. My face flushed. My hair, perfectly styled by her, framed my cheeks delicately, highlighting how out of place I felt. I wanted to run. But I couldn't. Her eyes followed me, encouraging, soft, and somehow, comforting. Alone in her room later, I dared to explore. I practiced walking, holding my hands lightly at my sides, stepping carefully. The shoes clicked against the floor, a sound that should have been humiliating, but somehow, with each click, I felt more aware. More conscious. I examined my reflection, noting how my legs looked longer, my posture shifted, my body soft but aware. My hands, delicate when placed on my hips, felt foreign. My voice, when I whispered, floated higher than usual. "Okay, this is insane," I muttered to the mirror. "I'm insane." But beneath the panic was curiosity. I tried on a skirt she suggested, a soft, pastel piece. It brushed my thighs gently as I walked, swaying with every careful step. I felt exposed and alive. Each movement made me hyper-aware, each turn of my head a revelation. You look, I paused, voice trembling, different. Interesting. Her reflection in the mirror, smiling, reminded me that it was okay to feel this way, even if it scared me. By the afternoon, we ventured outside. I could feel every gaze, every subtle stare, every whispered comment. Some smiled politely. Others lingered, curious. And I realized, I wasn't just surviving in these heels, I was adapting. Each step became easier, each sway more natural. A stranger complimented me, "Love the shoes." My heart jumped. My cheeks burned. I mumbled a thank you, voice trembling. But a strange sense of pride bubbled up. I had never received attention like this. I had never moved like this. And for the first time, a tiny spark of enjoyment flickered in the midst of embarrassment. Even Olivia noticed. "See? You're amazing at this. More than you think." I wanted to deny it. I wanted to retreat to comfort. But I didn't. Then came the test. We entered a small cafe, bustling with people. I felt every gaze. Every whisper felt like a spotlight. A man glanced up, double-took, then smiled awkwardly. My hands shook as I lifted my cup, balancing delicately. I felt like I was performing. And in a way, I was. Olivia leaned close, whispering, "You're doing great. Own it." I inhaled. Slowly. And for the first time, I didn't stumble. I didn't falter. Each step, each gesture, each breath, confident, delicate, aware. A small smile escaped me. Later that evening, after returning home, I sat on her couch, shoes off, legs stretched out. Exhaustion mingled with exhilaration. I started, voice soft, airy, unsure. I didn't think I'd like it. At all. She smiled gently. "It's okay. You don't have to love it. But it's okay to explore, too. To discover parts of yourself you never knew existed." I nodded, flushed, heartbeat racing. She was right. That night, lying in bed, I realized something. This experience wasn't about humiliation. It wasn't about embarrassment. It was about self-discovery. About vulnerability. About courage. And more than anything, it was about trust. Trust in her, trust in myself, and trust in the unexpected. Over the next week, I learned to walk in heels more confidently, to move gracefully, to embrace this side of me that had always been hidden. I experimented with skirts, soft tops, subtle makeup. Each day, I discovered a new facet of myself. Friends noticed. Some were shocked. Others supportive. Some teased, but gently, without malice. And through it all, I realized, I was not less me. I was just more. By the end of that week, I wasn't just surviving Olivia's plan. I was thriving in it. She smiled at me one night, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear. "See? I told you, you'd discover something new." I laughed softly, warmth flooding me. "Yeah, I guess I did. And I kind of like it." She grinned, leaning in close. "I knew you would." And for the first time, I believed her. Looking back, the day my girlfriend left me in heels was terrifying. Humiliating. Overwhelming. But it was also transformative. It taught me that identity isn't rigid. That vulnerability can be empowering. That stepping out of comfort zones, literally and figuratively, can reveal strength, courage, and a part of yourself you never knew existed. Sometimes, the most unexpected challenges lead to the most profound growth. And that day, in heels, balancing between fear and exhilaration, I discovered a new side of me, confident, delicate, daring, and undeniably alive. Because sometimes, all it takes is one step, one small, trembling, high-heeled step, into the unknown to find yourself. The next morning, I woke up still feeling the remnants of yesterday, the ache in my calves, the lingering flush on my cheeks, and an odd, fluttering curiosity I couldn't shake. My mind kept replaying every step, every gaze, every compliment, and every moment of humiliation. "Are you ready?" My girlfriend's voice called from the kitchen. I froze. Ready? Ready for what? The heels were back in my bag, waiting. My stomach twisted with both excitement and dread. I guess so, I said, my voice still lighter, almost trembling, betraying the confidence I didn't yet have. She grinned. Perfect. Today, we're going out. Public. Big city streets. Crowds. People. Eyes on you. I wanted to argue. I wanted to crawl under the bed. But curiosity, that dangerous spark, kept me rooted. I slipped into the heels. My legs wobbled immediately. Even the soft click of the floor beneath me sounded like thunder. My jeans felt restrictive, my hoodie oversized, but the shoes, they demanded attention. Every step screamed, "Notice me." "Relax," she said, linking her arm with mine. "I've got you." The streets were crowded. People brushed past us, glanced down at my shoes, then up at my awkward, slightly hunched posture. I felt exposed, like I was on a stage with no exit. Every step made me hyper-aware of my legs, my balance, my voice. A man gave me a double take. I panicked. My face burned. My hands tightened into fists at my sides. "Breathe," she whispered. "Just walk like you belong." I tried. Step by step. Click. 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 My heart raced, but slowly, the panic began to fade. Each confident placement of my heel gave me a tiny thrill. Each sway of my hips, once terrifying, began to feel alive. A group of students nearby chuckled softly. "Is that him?" I froze, mortified. Their whispers followed me like a chorus. My cheeks flamed. I wanted to disappear. But her hand squeezed mine. "Keep going. You're doing amazing." Somehow, her encouragement gave me courage. I focused on the rhythm, the sound of my own heels on the sidewalk. Step. Balance. Sway. Step. Step. And with every step, the embarrassment became a little less sharp, replaced by exhilaration. By mid-afternoon, we entered a boutique. She guided me through aisles of delicate blouses and soft skirts. I tried them on, each layer making me feel lighter, more exposed, but also, more myself in a strange, new way. "You look incredible," she said, her voice soft but teasing. "I think you're starting to enjoy this." I shook my head, though a small, forbidden smile crept across my face. I don't know about enjoy. But, it's different. Different. That was the word. Terrifyingly different. Liberatingly different. Then came the cafe. Sitting across from her, legs crossed carefully, trying not to wobble, I felt every eye in the room. Some glanced curiously, some openly stared. A man whispered to his friend, pointing discreetly. My stomach twisted. I sipped my coffee, careful not to spill, careful not to falter. The small cup felt delicate in my hands. Every movement was exaggerated, every gesture amplified. "You're handling it," she whispered, leaning close. "I'm proud of you." I wanted to hide the blush creeping up my neck. But even as panic threatened, there was a thrill. A dangerous, addictive thrill. I realized I liked this feeling, the awareness, the vulnerability, the attention. Outside, walking back through the city streets, a child pointed at me. "Look, Mommy. That boy is wearing heels." I froze. My face burned hotter than the sun. My girlfriend chuckled, squeezing my hand. "Ignore them," she said softly. "They don't know what they are seeing." But I couldn't ignore it entirely. Every step felt like a test, every glance like judgment. And yet, with her by my side, guiding me, supporting me, I began to feel confidence building from inside. I walked taller. My sway was smoother. My voice, when I spoke, didn't tremble as much. My laughter, when I let it out, felt genuine. By the time we returned home, I realized something remarkable. The fear and embarrassment hadn't disappeared completely, but they no longer controlled me. I had survived public scrutiny. I had adapted. I had thrived. That evening, she asked me to try something new, makeup. Subtle, simple. Foundation, a touch of blush, eyeliner. I stared at the brushes like they were instruments of torture. But as I applied each stroke, guided by her hands, I felt transformation. Not just physical, but internal. Looking in the mirror, I barely recognized myself. Not as a man, not fully as her, but as someone in between, delicate, aware, powerful, exposed. "You're beautiful," she said softly. I swallowed hard. I don't know if I am. I feel ridiculous." "You're learning to love something new about yourself," she whispered. "That's the point." And maybe she was right. Over the next few days, I explored more. Grocery stores, parks, even a casual meet-up with friends. Each time, the world stared, whispered, noticed. And each time, I discovered a new layer of courage, vulnerability, and excitement. Even when someone made a teasing comment, "Nice heels, dude," I laughed. Not out of embarrassment, not entirely. But because I could. Because I could hold my head high and own it. By the end of the week, I realized the truth. This wasn't just a prank, a dare, or a humiliating joke. It was an experience that changed me. I discovered resilience, awareness, and a thrilling sense of empowerment. I discovered that vulnerability could be intoxicating. That exposure could teach confidence. That stepping into someone else's shoes, literally, could reveal strength I'd never known. That night, alone in her apartment, heels off, hair loose, I reflected on the week. I had started terrified, shaking, embarrassed, mortified. And now, I felt alive, aware, and more confident than I had in years. She sat beside me, brushing a strand of hair from my face. "You did amazing. I'm proud of you." I laughed softly, warmth spreading in my chest. I never thought I'd say this, but I think I enjoyed it. At least, some of it. Her smile was triumphant. "I knew you would." And for the first time, I believed her. I realized that sometimes, growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from vulnerability. From stepping into something new, something scary, and facing it head-on. That day, in heels, stumbling and swaying and laughing, I discovered not just a new side of myself, but a new kind of strength. And I knew this was only the beginning.